Following the buzzer-beating victory in Toronto on Sunday that pushed the current winning streak to 3 games, head coach James Borrego joins Matt and Chris to discuss his team's run of late and finishing the season strong. This is the Hornets.com Coaches Show.
Welcome to the Hornets.com Coaches Show. I'm Matt Rochinski, being joined by head coach James Borrego, Chris Kroger, as always. Coach, 3 games ago, we're looking at this thing going, okay, we've got Minnesota at home, we've got Boston coming up, and then we've got to head on the road to Toronto. Fans are probably looking at this going, this is a little bit of a murderer's row here. To turn out the way things have at this point in time, how are you feeling right now, the way things are going?
Well, I'm proud of the guys. I'm happy for them. You know, they've been a resilient group all season. You know, I can't say I'm surprised. You know, this group has stuck with it all season. We keep putting ourselves in position to win games, but I'm really happy for them. They deserved that win last night, and we're only getting better. I think we've said, you know, these last few games, let's just keep getting better. One game at a time, take it one game at a time, get better, and we don't know how this thing's going to turn out. And just really happy for them. Playing well, playing at a high level right now, playing with a lot of confidence, a lot of urgency, competitive spirit right now. So we just got to keep it going.
Well, and where do you start? I think Minnesota, you really grinded out that game more so. And then even you get into the Boston game, the fourth quarter, really, obviously, a 30-5 run over the final 8 minutes turned the tide. But it seems like from that point into the Toronto game, the last 5 quarters of basketball, you really carried that over on the road into Toronto.
Yeah, I thought the key, you know, the Boston game was really key for us. I thought we went into that game believing that we could win that game. You know, even through the stretches of being up, being down, we were pretty consistent throughout. And we know Boston was going to give us a run, and they got on a good run there in the fourth quarter. But we just stuck with it again. The theme of resiliency. You know, one play to the next, keep playing one possession at a time, one game at a time. And I think it was a reflection of that in that game. Down 18, could have hung our heads, been out of that game. But we just stuck with it. Kept grinding, kept fighting, and that's what this team's been. We're going to keep fighting. We're not going anywhere. You know, we're not going anywhere. Whether we're at home, whether we're on the road, we're just going to keep fighting. But what a great 8-minute stretch there, and then to carry that over into Toronto on a back-to-back against a very good team that was loaded. They played their full squad last night. There were nobody sitting out.
Yep.
And that's how we want it. You know, we're not going to be given anything. We're going to have to go take it.
We know this has been an aggressive offense attacking all season long, but with the infusion of the youth over the course of these last 3 games, have you seen that change a little bit in terms of how aggressive it's kind of amped up even more so, especially when it comes to sharing the ball?
I do. I feel like our pace has moved. It's moving now. I think we're more athletic right now. We're putting more pressure on teams in the first 6 seconds. You know, we're getting up and down a little bit more. We're putting more pressure on the rim right now. And the ball is moving. They're trusting each other with the pass. I think you're looking at the assist, ratio right now. The numbers are up. 26, I think, against Boston. 32 last night against Toronto. Against two very good defenses. But we believe if we don't move the ball, we're going to die. We're not a one-on-one team. When the ball moves, we're going to find good shots. And I think last night was a great example of our young guys trusting each other. Kemba as well. I mean, 13 assists for him. Devontae, 9 assists. But I think they're getting a real joy out of playing with one another, playing at a high pace, with ball movement, sharing, playing for each other.
Well, it's not often where I think you'd go on the road against an elite team in their building, and they shoot over 50%, and yet you walk out with a win. But that's what happened in Toronto. And when you look at the last 2 games, I know you've talked a lot about this throughout the year, but your offense giving your defense a chance. It felt like your defense was there, the effort was there, but it was your offense that really put pressure on Toronto throughout the game, and same thing with Boston.
Yeah, I think our offense did put pressure. We were running good offense both games, and to have only 8 turnovers in Toronto was key last night. We didn't want to fuel their offense with our poor offense, so we said take the first good look, but move the ball, change sides of the floor, attack, and I think that's what we did. We weren't playing on our heels. We were in attack mode, looking for the extra man, the extra pass. So to keep our turnovers low was really key for us. But our guys were guarding. Even in the first half, they kept making shot after shot. I mean, tough shots, runners, contested threes, contested twos. They're a fantastic team. That's why they're the 2 seed in the East. Yeah. So you just got to stick with it. Even when they were making shots, I felt like our effort was there defensively. So. And I think really what helped us there late in the fourth quarter is we got stops. You know, even through the dry possessions down the stretch, you know, they picked up their intensity defensively. But what allowed us to stay within that range of striking was our defense. We got a number of stops down the stretch. So I got to give our guys credit there.
Coach, you mentioned earlier how much fun these guys are having playing together, and especially when you talk about Kemba, when you see what he's done, he's filling the stat sheet in other places too. He's being more aggressive on the glass, all of these things. Is that coming with maybe getting up and down more for him?
I think so. He's just active right now. You know, I don't think we're asking him to just go score right now. He's involved in every action on the defensive end. He's challenging himself. He understands he's got to guard every single night. We need him to rebound. When he rebounds, it ignites our break. When Lamb rebounds, it ignites our breaks. You've seen Miles rebound and lead our break, and I think Kemba's an example of that. He's trying to rebound. He's right there on the cusp of getting a triple double. If he would quit being so selfish, you know, and give up the ball for one more assist, I think we blamed it on Miles after the game. You know, he bobbled that last one against Boston. But you know, Kemba's trying to play the right way. He is playing the right way. He's trusting his teammates. He's getting involved all over the floor, not just scoring the ball, which is what we need.
Well, let's talk about Miles, averaging almost 14 points per game over the last 4. He's really just every night taking his game to the next level over the last 4, and he had back-to-back career-high rebounds. Then he has his first double-double of his career on his 21st birthday. He gets career-high 20 against Boston, and then he goes for another big night last night in Toronto. So when you look at Miles and his body of work right now, he's not only progressing, it seems like it's coming in massive leaps game by game.
That's what young guys do. I mean, this is how it happens with young guys. If they keep, you know, putting the time in, their ceiling is extremely high. You know, and our development, I got to give our assistant coaches a lot of credit. You know, our development program is second to none. I really believe in our group. Every single day they're working with these guys. When nobody's watching film with them, working on their minds, working on the court, their skill work, their shot, their passing. What you're seeing in front of your eyes is it's not just an accident. You know, this is time put in behind the scenes. So Miles is taking, you know, tremendous leaps here. I think you can see his confidence growing right now on both ends of the floor. He took that matchup with Kawhi last night extremely seriously. You know, he got after him defensively. He's rebounding extremely high level. When you look at those two areas, defense and rebounding, he could do that for us every single night. But then you look at his maturation on the offensive end. I mean, you know, he's making real strides there. But I love the way he's attacking the rim, his offensive rebounding, his rolling to the rim. He's shooting the ball with confidence. He's sharing the ball. He's looking for his teammates as well. So, you know, he's doing a great job for us right now.
And there's almost a game of one-upsmanship going on right now with some of these young guys, because as Miles is playing tremendous, Dwayne Bacon steps into the starting role, has been playing great. He comes out and has a career-high 20 last night with 5 threes in the third. Just talk about where Dwayne is playing right now and the level he's taken his game to.
Well, you look at his year. I mean, this is why you have a development program. You know, we put something in place to start the season. I liked Dwayne early, and he helped us early. Then there was a stretch there where he wasn't playing. Our rotation was a little bit different. We were playing some different lineups, and you know, but we sent him. You know, he played there in the G League, which has been a tremendous asset for us. And I think that really turned his season. He went to the G League with a focus. There was a plan in place on what areas we wanted him to work on, and he came back a different player. More urgency, getting to the rim, shooting threes, defending. And, you know, I had been watching him for a couple weeks, and I thought, even in practice, watching the G League games, I remember one night watching a G League game going, this guy could really help us. He's really turned the corner. And that's when we put him in the game, I believe, against Washington, and he had an immediate impact. Again, that wasn't just by accident. You've seen, you know, this development happening over the course of the season in the G League, in practice, behind the scenes with the assistant coaches, and now he's ready to go. And now every game he's just growing in confidence, shooting the ball. He understands his role. He understands what we're asking of him right now. Tremendous game last night, and that's one of those games that can really spark you. And it should just breed more and more confidence with him right now. So, big step by him last night.
Yeah, I guess, I don't know, what do you, in Greensboro, he's been learning the step back three? Has that been part of Joe Wolf's program up there? Where did that come from?
Step back threes, man.
I didn't know that was up there.
Three ball, the mighty three ball.
Well, you look at him, for example, and you talk about Miles too in the development. What you just touched on, I think, is interesting, because when you see the results, right, for a young kid, I think that's what feeds you to want to get back in the gym and back in the film room and back in the weight room, right? When you're seeing the results, and I feel like maybe that's the process we're starting to see unfold with some of these guys.
Yeah, they're hungry now. They can taste it. You know, they can taste it. They can't wait to get back in the gym. When they watch film with more curiosity. They want to learn. They want to develop because they're seeing these immediate, results. So. That hunger is there for these guys. They're driven, and to your point, they're feeding off each other. You know, I'm not sure they're trying to one up each other, but
that's okay.
I'm along for the ride. I'm chasing you. You know,
That's
I'm watching you, and I think they have a great little chemistry going amongst them. We have a great veteran group leading them, pushing them, teaching them. Our staff is right there with them, pushing and teaching these guys. So, I mean, you can't. What they're getting in-game experience right now is just invaluable. I mean, you can. You could go through 100 practices and never get this experience. So this is very valuable right now.
And you mentioned the veteran leadership too. A guy like Marvin Williams not having to play as many minutes, but it seems like he's been incredibly efficient when he's had the chance to step in and get the minutes in a limited role.
Yeah, he's still battling, and his minutes are down, but they're valuable, they're good minutes, very efficient minutes, as you said. His legs are fresh. Those three balls probably look a little bit better when, the legs are a little more fresh, but, he's battling some injuries, but the guy wants to go. He wants to go. He wants to battle with his young bucks and his entire crew. And he's been a major voice for us behind the scenes, in the locker room, in huddles. He's involved in every timeout, talking to these guys, trying to just will them, teach them, coach them, and I love that. He takes my seat sometimes, and I love that. When he sits in my seat and I can stand up and draw the play or whatever, that's all good stuff. So give our veterans a lot of credit. They're just sticking with it and finding their role and their identity, in what we're trying to do here.
When you look at Devontae and what he's done over these last, I think, 6 games now, you're talking about 21 assists, just 2 turnovers, the last 3 specifically. He's been really good, especially strong charges down low. It turned the game against Boston on Saturday. What is it about the things that maybe belie a box score, though, for him, where you talk about his leadership skills or just his personality that you think lends itself to what makes him such a special player?
He's got a high basketball IQ. I mean, he really thinks the game, and these are the type of players as a coach you love and enjoy because they're out there on the floor. They're thinking the game for you. I mean, he's a step ahead a lot of times, or he can react before he even sees what's about to unfold, and he's just steady for us. He understands the game. He's been well coached. He's a gamer. He's a winner. He just makes winning plays. Those 2 plays against Boston, they probably don't show up in the box score, but those were very important plays in us getting that win. Last night, he had a couple of those. The offensive rebound was a big one. The steal on the inbounds. His feel defensively on when to switch, when to cover. These are things that you can't really teach, but we appreciate.
We all know the NBA can be unpredictable. We would have thought last week that we'd be in this situation. I don't know if we would have said, yes, we're going to win 3 in a row.
Yeah.
But now that we have 9 games left, 2 games back, how important does a game like tonight against the Spurs become when you're playing at home?
Well, they're all so important right now. This is the most important because it's the one right in front of us, and we put 3 together and we want 4, and we really haven't put a stretch of games together throughout this season like this. There's a potential right now to go on a run, and why not right now? Now's the time to do it. If this is our best basketball of the season, great. Why not? Why can't this be our best basketball of the season moving forward? We got 9 games to play. That's a lot of basketball. We got 3 under our belt, but we got to build on this. We got some very good teams. We got a road trip. But this is a confident group right now. This is probably the best I've felt about our group all season right now. Maybe just because we're in the moment and we're chasing a playoff berth here. But we're going after this thing, and tomorrow night's a very important game for us.
Yeah. And the spark you get in Toronto, too, the way it matters how you win sometimes. And obviously you don't want to draw it up that way, but Jeremy's buzzer beater.
You didn't like that play call?
I did like the play call.
We all love that play call.
Siakam poke it away.
Amazing.
But 48 feet out, it's the 2nd longest game winner in the last 2 decades in the NBA. So you mix in that. It was euphoric. It's great to silence 20,000 people. It was a fun trip back to Charlotte after a back-to-back. But as a coach, you've got to live in those moments sometimes, right? It's a long year. All the wins count the same, but you've got to celebrate those victories because they don't come like that all the time, right?
You have to. I mean, these are you know, very important moments for your team as you grow and develop. And we've been on the other end of a lot of these, and they're painful. You know, we got to take a moment to celebrate a victory like that, enjoy each other. That's what we're doing this for. You know, we're trying to get wins, and to get a win like that was so important for our team overall, the feel, and who knows where this could lead us to, you know, and where this could spark us to. We just got to jump on it and ride this train. But we put it wasn't that shot that got the win. Obviously, everyone's talking about it, but we put ourselves in position to win that game. There was multiple plays throughout that game that got us to that point. And just like this season, there's been a lot of games throughout this season that have gotten us to this point. And now we got to go close. We got to go take advantage of this opportunity that we put ourselves in. So I'm happy for Jeremy. It's a wonderful play, and we just got to, you know, ride with it right now.
That's his third game winner on the year, by the way. He hit one against Detroit, hit the game winner a couple weeks ago against Washington with about 50 seconds to go, ended up being the decisive bucket, and then hits that one against Toronto. So call him Mr. Clutch. Mr. Clutch. Month of March. He loves this time of year.
We will take it for sure.
Take it, yeah.
We're riding this moment right now as long as we can. Fans are having a great time. We're all having a great time. Can't wait to see where you're going to take this thing in the next couple weeks as we kind of wrap up the season.
Right.
For head coach James Borrego, for Chris Kroger, I'm Matt Rochinski with Hornets.com.